It could be fingerprints at a robbery scene, a knife ditched in the brush, or DNA evidence. The Sheriff's Department Crime Lab processes thousands of pieces of evidence. The lab rarely cracks the crime in an hour like they do on TV. But as Lynn Stewart shows us, the work is essential to investigators.
The victims is why we all do this.
When lives are lost unnaturally, investigators need to know why and who is responsible. So they turn to the San Diego County Crime Lab.
They document the scene through photography. They collect the evidence from the crime scene.
Each year, this office investigates about 14,000 cases, and each of those cases can have dozens of pieces of evidence that must be analyzed. But often, some of the most valuable evidence can't be seen with the naked eye. Lauren looks for microscopic DNA on evidence, seeing who might be linked to the crime. She takes hundreds of samples each week.
People think that everything goes into like a black box and all of a sudden pops out a DNA profile, and that's not true. As you can see, I spend time looking at items over and over and over.
If shots are fired, the firearms experts are brought in.
What's invaluable to the firearms examiner is a good pattern matching ability.
The examiners can take a close-up look of the shell casings to determine if it was shot out of a particular gun. They can also determine the distance someone was shot from to peg the case as a suicide or a homicide.
We can look at the garment through which that bullet traveled and the unburned gunpowder that's left on the shirt and say, no, this is more consistent with it having been fired from over 3 feet.
They do leave a very vital piece of evidence behind.
Cassandra Barnes picks up what criminals leave behind. She analyzes their fingerprints.
For me, it's like putting together pieces of a puzzle, and that puzzle that I get to look at every day is different. I'm going to be looking for these particular marks.
Barnes scans a database of tens of millions of fingerprints to see if she can find a match. From DNA to oily prints, forensic science is helping paint a clear picture of who the bad guys are.
I think it's more rewarding than any other job that I could have chosen for the fact that we do help so many people in the community.
For San Diego's Most Wanted, I'm Lynn Stewart.